Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to pass along something that my grandfather once told me. Some advice that's also a very good life lesson. Something that you really just want to keep right in about the center of your mind so you can easily pull it out when the time comes and you can realize that, oh my goodness, my life was not complete until I learned the details and the reasoning behind this life-altering, life-saving life lesson. Thank you so much for giving me this life lesson. I can't believe that I never knew about it because it's so simple but so detailed but so good. So what is that life-altering, life-saving lesson? Simply this. Never come between a mother and her daughter, even if you're a subterranean creature that hunts by sound. My grandfather was a very strange and unique individual, and I miss that man dearly. The Tank was written and directed by Scott Walker, who did The Frozen Ground. This stars Lucene Buchanan as Jules and Matt Wallen as Ben. They're a couple living in Oakland, California in 1978. They have a daughter, they own a pet shop, and they're struggling financially to the point they live in the apartment above the pet shop. And Ben is kind of a fixer-upper. The financial struggles are really getting to them. They don't know what to do, and then suddenly somebody shows up and says, oh yeah, your mother left you some property. You didn't know about this property? Well, go there anyway and see what you can do. So they do, and then they find out that, well, it's a bit of a fixer-upper, but that's okay. It's apparently worth a whole lot of money, and then they find out why they didn't know about this particular property, because there is something on these grounds that has hunted and haunted and terrorized generations of people. So the Tank, unfortunately, is not about a possessed World War II tank that runs over people maximum overdrive style. More in the pity, that would have been funnier. Would have been more ridiculous, but would have been funnier. The asylum executives furiously taking notes. This is about a water tank, a somewhat hidden water tank that basically was used to collect spring water because back when this original property was built, that's how a lot of people lived. They lived off the land. Because since this takes place in 1978, we get a flashback to 1946, and we find out how things came to be. And then Jules and Ben take their daughter, take the dog. Don't worry, minor spoiler, the dog does not die. Good. It's one thing the Tank got right. And they just decided to go live there. Evidently, they just decided to leave the pet shop behind. Maybe they figured the animals would lock up. And from there, we have a movie that basically just has ominous, ethereal, and suspenseful music, and bumps in the night, other weird noises. And since they only have lanterns, they don't have electricity, they also don't have cell phones because it's 1978, they have to solve the mystery and figure out what's going on here. But they decide to immediately go and live there in a house that has not been lived in for a while. I don't necessarily know if that was the best idea. It probably has a lot of mold and has a lot of stuff, but they don't really have much to it. I guess it's better than the apartment they live in. And then they find out what's actually going on. I'm keeping this as spoiler-free as possible, but if you read the description, you probably can figure out what the hell's going on. So yes, the Tank is not very good. In fact, the Tank is downright boring and almost annoyingly boring. It takes the well-worn tropes of, bumps in the night and hidden secrets and everything, and really monumentally stupid characters doing everything stupid to advance the meager plot such as it is. And unfortunately, the movie doesn't really do anything with those tropes. Now, you can take well-worn tropes, add unique camera tricks, add some ingenuity, and you can have some fun with it, or you can make it as painfully boring as the Tank was. I hated this movie. I really hated this. I couldn't wait for every single character to die. There was nobody worth rooting for. There were character motivations that absolutely just made me freaking laugh like crazy. This movie was like 99 minutes with credits, and it just seemed like either large chunks were cut out or they just decided, oh shit, we haven't done much for a bit. Let's just throw this over here. Let's have this character come in. Let's do this stuff. The movie doesn't go in any different directions, and that's fine if you want to do a one-location shoot or in the environs of a one-location shoot. But when you have a low, cast number, you need to make sure that you actually establish good characters. Unfortunately, not even the actors, it's just the characters in general are really monumentally stupid. I do want to say the actress playing Jules, Miss Buchanan, very pretty. She tries to make the most of it. Matt Wallen I've seen in a few other things, and the cast isn't particularly bad. It's just not it's not scary at all. It's not scary. It's very typical, very cliched. And when the eventual reveal happened, I laughed. I mean, I laughed a whole bunch. And this did not do good like Cryptid did. Even though Cryptid wasn't great, it made more, usage of its concept, and at least seemed like it had some heart put into it. This just seemed like it was churned out by studios because they wanted another horror feature with well-worn stuff. And even when the final reveal happens, you just laugh. At least I laugh, because they could have easily left the house. Why they decided to go live in that house instead of maybe just saying, oh yeah, this is here, let's sell the property because we could use the money, because clearly there's something fucked up about it. And none of the secrets that get revealed are any good. I did rent this on Amazon for a few bucks. I refuse to pirate movies, so that's why I decided to watch it. Unless it's available on a streaming service I pay for, I'll gladly pay a few bucks, because why not? Don't pirate shit. Support the artist. Even if it's a movie like Tank that isn't very good. It's not very good at all. I really did hate this movie. I recommend it if you want to be around a group of friends and have some fun, but other than that, there isn't really anything to this. So there you are. I'm going to get into spoilers here in a few seconds, but yeah, it's not atmospheric. Like the moon has more goddamn atmosphere than this. Mars has more atmosphere. Maybe even Uranus. But at least the dog doesn't die, so at least Scott Walker got that correct. Anyway, let's just get into spoilers. So there you go. That's your fair warnings. On Amazon for a few bucks if you want to rant. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so we start in 1946. A guy gets dragged down into a tank by something that growls. And then we smash cut to 1978. I did laugh at one particular piece of foreshadowing where they're at the aquarium part, the daughter and the mother. And why did this creature do that? It's just because that's just what they do. And this creature is old like the dinosaurs. What would it do if it got on land? Well, what would it hunt? Gee, could you get any more foreshadowing? Why don't you just hit us in the head repeatedly until the point that we sustain and suffer several major head injuries, just like apparently every character in this movie. And then this one guy shows up, played by Mark Mitchinson, who took care of the mother's estate and said, well, this is before our time, but here's his paperwork. It's off the Oregon coast. It's Hobbit's Bay. No, there's no hobbits in this. I would have actually laughed if it was killer hobbits. And it got forgotten, after your mother died. But just go there. So, steeped in tragedy. There's a dangerous stay out sign. Apparently, evidently, they just left the pet shop in the hands of some people. I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, maybe they said it and I just totally forgot because I didn't give a shit about what any of the characters said. But then, it's a fixer-upper. They find the water tank, and they find out that it goes pretty goddamn deep. They're in too deep, and they're trying to keep all the blood in their head before they go under the water. And it's tapped into spring water because that's how people were able to live off of either rain or spring water. And I have noted that Ben and Jules' characters are complete idiots. The daughter is extremely irritating. The dog is the best, most fleshed out character in the movie. And I wrote down, maybe sell the place and just go because there's no real reason to worry about this stuff. There's bumps in the night. There's the drilling of the tank basically hit something that, that awakened and it's all angry. What it is it's subterranean creatures that hunt mostly by sound. And that's it. That's basically what the movie is. Why are these creatures there? Who the hell knows? According to this one character, Meridol, who is in there for all of 5 fucking seconds, or maybe 5 minutes. The land was bad, but people want to buy it. So here's this deal. And then she gets killed in the woods, which is hilarious. Always listen to the dog is what I noted. The daughter is, and I know that it's supposed to be a kid, and they're not supposed to be legit tough, but my God, the daughter's irritating. And then they decide to leave after, a bunch of bullshit, and the creatures rose up and checked on, attacked, and done all this, and Nothing about this movie is any good. Like, any of these details, like, if anybody's seen this movie, you might honestly have forgotten about some of this stuff. I had to write this stuff, and I forgot about it, and I just watched the movie a bit ago. The dog is alive, is what I know. A police officer arrives before this and gets killed, and he's black. Oh, so racist. Of course, the cop dies fifth. And when they finally show the creatures and look, and there are multiple creatures. It's fine if you have a low budget, and the creature effects aren't bad. They're all right. Low budget or not, they're all right. But then, during all this stuff, a little bit earlier, Ben had found this, had found some stuff, some explosives, like gas for the generator and some fertilizer to make fertilizer bombs, because that's what they did back then, evidently. And here's my idea. I'm going to go in the tank with some explosives, and I'm going to blow the shit up. Well, then he gets caught in the tank. The thing booms way too quick, so he's fucked. He gets attacked. I did note that after he got out of the tank, yay, I got the kid. It's going to kill the kid. Did not kill the kid. The kid put them in a whole bunch of bad situations and was super annoying. But then Jules decides, hey, I'm going to get a mop. I'm going to make it a torch. And I'm going to torch everything. And I'm going to save our kid down in this now flooded cave. And it's like The Descent. If The Descent was directed by a sea cucumber, which I'm sure Scott Walker actually has good ideas. But this was not a good idea. This was horrible. And then she she fucking sets people on fire, or the creatures on fire. They escape to the car, and then the daughter and the dog are besieged by a creature. And then they get out of the car, get back in the car. The mother takes the gun from the cop after she rescues the husband and brings her in. And then Jules shoots the creature one time. One bullet. One bullet took care of that. I'm amazed a strong breeze didn't take care of that goddamn thing. And then they race away. And everything's fine. Do we get a mid-credits scene in 1993 when they open stuff up? And they're going to make a new land with blackjack and hookers. God, the tank was shit. This is so boring and so generic. So bad. F. Sorry, gets an F. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.